Have you ever had that sinking feeling when you take a DoorDash order and from the beginning your gut tells you something isn't right? Or this order seems off? Well, I had one of those crazy DoorDash orders yesterday and I had to make a decision to keep it or to cancel it. But how do you know how and when to make that decision? Cancellation rates are a tricky DoorDash game that we all play in order to make the most amount of money while we're out dashing. DoorDash says that you can't fall below 90% or risk deactivation. This is their scare tactic for you to keep the order, but it's also real. You will be deactivated if you fall below 90%. But is that truly fair if you're a true independent contractor? I'll let you answer that one. For me, if I want to remain platinum, I have to stay above 95%. Those of you who are new and are like, what's a cancellation, right? Well, it's the amount of orders you accept versus those that you unassign or cancel. For me, I always say if I take it, I own it. Unless I can use a worry-free unassigned for long wait times. That's a no-brainer on when to dip. 10 minutes, I'm out. But what about the hard decisions? The ones you should use a cancellation on, kind of like the one I'm about ready to tell you. So let's get into it. Okay, so I got this order the other night, and it was a stacked order. One was a restaurant and one was a grocery store retail pickup. And it was 37 items. And I'll be honest, I don't know about you. You'll have to let me know in the comments. I don't like doing grocery pickups. I don't mind shopping. I don't like doing pickups because you never know what you're picking up. It'll tell you the items, but it doesn't list. You can be picking up 30 cases of water and you really don't know until you're actually physically there. So strange enough, the restaurant pickup was first, and I'm like, oh, whatever. Someone's food is going to be in my hot bag, but they're whatever. I thought that was weird to begin with. So I go to do the grocery pickup and I walk to the area where you go and say, hey, I'm here. And there was nobody there, and I waited, and then it says to pick up a phone and someone will answer. I'm like, that's strange, but whatever. Pick up the phone, someone answered, and I'm like, okay, I'll be right down. So as I'm waiting for this associate to come and give me my grocery order, I'm looking around and there are 3 carts lined up, and I'm like, what's that? And it was packed. It was full of Gatorade bottles. And I'm looking, and then on the bottom there was 2 cases of water on each one of them. There were 2 bags and something else. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, is that my order? Oh my God, I hope this is not my order. So I go over to the cart and there's a name on it. It was my order. And I'm looking at this. So I'm going to paint even a bigger picture for you on this one. My area is going through a little bit of a heat wave. My car, when I walked in, was reading 98 degrees. Someone decided to do a order of all Gatorade and cases of water. And I'm looking at that and I'm like, oh, this has to be some kind of joke, right? So the associate finally comes and I said, hi, I'm here for, and I said the name. And she's looking at it, she's like, you're the 3rd driver for this order. You might cancel too. And I'm like, what are you talking? And I'm thinking this definitely is my order. So I'm looking at the cart. I'm in my head. So first thing is always know where you stand with your cancellation rate at all times for situations like this. Will this fit in my car? Yeah, absolutely, it'll fit. Do I want to lift all these cases of Gatorade to deliver it to this person's house in 98-degree weather? It was only going 2 miles, so it was close. I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, well, I looked at the address. It's going to an apartment. That makes it even worse. And a lot of apartments around my area, they don't always have elevators. They're more going up flights of stairs than anything else. And a lot of times the cart doesn't work. So I had visions that, okay, I could use my cart, but what happens if it's one of those apartments? But if I use my cart, and I can use my cart, how many cases can I actually fit on it? And doing math in my head, I'm like, maybe 10 at a time. Like, I'm still gonna have to do, I don't even know how many trips back and forth to get this delivered. And the sales associate was funny. She goes, "You're thinking about this, aren't you?" And I said, "I totally am." Because physically wise, not a big deal. I've lifted 10 cases of water at a time. This is Gatorade. But then I'm outweighing my options, because then I looked at the order itself. This is kind of my thought process behind all of it. And I purposely saved this for the end. The order was $16.75 for both orders, for the stacked order. And I'm thinking, is this worth all this heavy stuff in 98-degree weather? Is it worth me doing this order? I'm like, no, it's not. So what do? I told associate, I said, another driver will be in for this. I'm canceling it. She goes, I don't blame you. I wouldn't have done it either. So I canceled the order. And just a little tidbit of information. Once you unassign an order and you have a stacked order, you just need to close out the DoorDash screen and then go back in, and then the new amount will reflect on the top of the order that you kept. So the food delivery order was $5.75. In my mind, I knew I made the right decision, because to deliver all of that would have been $11. $11 for 2 carts full of Gatorades and cases of water. No, thank you. So I think I made the right decision. I don't know. What would you have done in this exact same spot? Would you have taken the order and just gotten it done and banked the $16? Or would you have been like me and says, nah, I am not doing that. No, not happening. Let me know. So when, as a dasher, should you cancel and why? So I said this earlier, and I'm going to say this again because I think it's really important. Always know where your rate stands at all times, so you know exactly if you have the option to unassign the order. I knew exactly where I stood, and I'm like, no, it's not worth it. I wouldn't have canceled it if I was close, in my case on Platinum, to falling below 95%. If you don't care about tiers, for you, it would be don't fall below 90%. And that's why you need to know, because the activations are real, and DoorDash is completely cracking down on stuff just like this. Sorry, thunder. As I'm listening to it, sorry. You guys hear that? Anyway. So I think a lot of being a dasher is making decisions for you as an individual. Somebody might have taken that order. I was not that dasher for that day. That was my decision to make, but you have to make a decision. And if the order is worth your time you're investing into it, I knew I would be like sweating, and I knew it was going to take me a little while to unload the groceries for, in that part of the stacked order, $11? Was that really worth my time when I could have quickly just dropped off the food delivery order and went on to my next order, which, by the way, was another $22 order. So it was a right decision for me to make. And sometimes doing this is a gamble. Sometimes you'll cancel an order and you might not get the best order right back. And you're like, darn it, I don't know whether I made the right decision. But you have to make a decision. For me, it's all about valuing what you do as a dasher and valuing your time and energy. Energy in this case, because of the 98-degree weather, in order to get something like that done. So I think this is important because when I first started dashing, no one told me I could cancel orders. Like, I was that newbie driver that was sitting at a restaurant one day just waiting and waiting for an order to come. And then another dasher came up to me. So he's like, why are you waiting? Just unassign the order. I'm like, wait, you can unassign? I didn't know that. Like, this is stuff that they don't teach you. This is stuff that DoorDash doesn't announce to every driver because they want you to keep the order and they want you to get it done. And that's their main goal in life, get every single order delivered. They don't want you to cancel because then they need to find another dasher to come in behind you and do what you didn't do. And then it delays the order, delays the customer, and so on and so forth. It's a chain reaction. But it's about making good business decisions, which I think I did. So, working the DoorDash platform, everyone's goal is supposed to be make the most amount of money you can while you're out working. That should be everybody's mindset when you are working the DoorDash platform. If an order, just like the one I had, is going to hinder you from making your goals and making the money that you want to make during the time that you have. Sometimes as a part-time dasher, you only have 2 hours, maybe 3 hours. How long would an order like that take you? That's something that you have to ask yourself. So it all goes back to value your time. Make sure the money is worth what is sitting in front of you, presented in front of you, and make the best decisions like you are running and owning your own business. That's how you're gonna succeed in this whole DoorDash game. And when it comes to stuff like this, cancellation rates, acceptance rates, it really is a DoorDash game that you're playing. But you have to play it smart. Make the best decisions for you and what you're trying to achieve as a dasher. Okay, you're gonna have to let me know what was the most ridiculous, crazy order you have ever unassigned or canceled on the DoorDash app. Go ahead, let me know in the comments. DoorDash has been issuing a lot of scare tactics for unassigning orders. Well, you're going to want to find out all the details in this video up next, and I'll see you over there.